Hi, my name is Yana, and in today's video we're going to be learning types of business, sectors, what is the share or stake. All that is going to be covered in this video. Before we start, I highly recommend you to write down the words so that you won't forget them later. So let's start with describing a business. So what other words can you use for a business? So you can either use a firm, a company, what else? An entity. Now business also can be small, it can be big. What else? It can be multinational. Also a company can be small and it can be big and it can be medium sized. Now what is a sector? So a sector basically means it's basically different parts of economy. So there are a lot of other words in the sector topic. So the first one that I think is really common is utilities. So what is a utility? So basically a utility, as my dictionary says, so utility is the supply of gas, electricity, water, all kind of bills. Another very common word in business is privatization. So what is that? So my dictionary says that this is the act of selling an industry, company, or service that was owned and controlled by government. So it becomes privately owned and controlled. So another word that is really common is nationalization. So let's see what that means. So nationalization basically means when a government takes control of an industry or a company, it becomes its owner. That's what it means. So in our last section, we're going to be talking about shares and who is a shareholder. So basically stakes and shares are pretty much the same. So if you want me guys, I am going to record another video on what's the difference between stakes and shares. I'm going to do this. A stake is a share, basically the dictionary says, a share in something like a financial share in business or whatever investment in companies. That's basically what the share is. Now, if you're a shareholder, you basically own the shares. So what is a subsidiary? The subsidiary is basically a company that is controlled by another company. Now let's move on to the holding company. So a holding company is basically a company that actually has the shares in a subsidiary or in many subsidiaries. So if it owns all the shares in a company, in a subsidiary, then you can call this company is a wholly owned company. A holding company and its subsidiaries basically form a group, a whole group. The other word that I found really interesting is conglomerate. It's basically a group containing a lot of different companies and different businesses. Also, journalists refer to large groups as giants. They tend to call it giants all the time. So that is it for today's video. I hope you loved it and I hope it was really useful for you. And yeah, make sure to write down the words, remember them, and practice. So comment down below all your questions if you have any, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.